Jordan Peele once said the only difference between horror and comedy is the music, and I think that is applicable to today's movie I'm reviewing, which is Ice Cream Man, directed by Eli Roth. I have always viewed Roth as a B movie director. When he escapes into his schlock films is when he shines the most as a filmmaker. Pictures like Hostel, Thanksgiving, and Cabin Fever are all trash, but fun and messed up trash. When he dips his toes into more commercial films, we get stuff like Borderlands and the Death Wish remake, and the less said about those, the better. Point is, Eli Roth belongs in the B movie category, and that's what today's movie is. I was surprised when I found out that this movie is not a remake of the amazing Ice Cream Man from 1995. And that's okay because this new one is one of those kinds of movies where you have to just accept all of its garbage and enjoy it for what it is. A very dark and sardonic comedy that is nothing but pure gross out and violence. The plot, the plot, is about a small suburban town that is turned on its head when a devious ice cream man uses his treats to turn all the kids into basically zombies who turn into homicidal maniacs. This is a film with no brain in his head that just wants to shock and entertain you for about 80 minutes. The color grading in this film is turned up to 11 with all those bright and warm colors. It's trying to go for a similar vibe to things like Blue Velvet by David Lynch, in the way it wants to take a seemingly innocent suburbia and expose the dark underbelly of it. To be clear, this picture does not compare to Blue Velvet in terms of quality. Blue Velvet is a masterpiece, Ice Cream Man is trash, but it is fun trash you can play in. I'm only comparing the moods of the two pictures on an outward presentation level. The story starts at the end of the school year, and there's a young kid who is lactose intolerant. He has an older sister who has boyfriend issues. Their parents are lawyers, and blah, blah, blah. You get all the usual stereotypes at the beginning of this film: the bullies of the young boy, the older sister and her maybe, maybe not with her boyfriend, all the usual stuff we see in horror films like this. And about 15 minutes in, when the kids get out of their beds and begin walking out of their rooms, I was worried that this was going to be a terrible ripoff of Weapons. But then the kids begin murdering everyone in their houses. It is really dark and fucked up, but I was laughing the entire time because it is so ridiculous. My gauge on whether or not anyone will enjoy this movie is how they felt about the Silent Night Deadly Night remake last year. If you thought that was awful, or you have a low tolerance seeing children in violent situations, then there is no way I can recommend this movie to you. But if you like films that are this bad but know that they are that bad, please let me sell you more on this picture. The dialogue is really bad, but in a campy, fun way. There's a sequence where our main family is having dinner, Eli Roth plays the dad, and they are arguing with their daughter about her not being able to be a part of school skip day, and how things were when they were young, while sipping on their wine. It is awful stuff, but I could basically see Eli Roth winking at the camera the entire time, like he is in on his own joke, and knows that we are only here for the gore. So speaking of the gore, that is where the film shines the most. Remember earlier where I said that the color grading for this film was turned up to 11? Well, there's a sequence where the kids are all outside of their school. 3 of them are not under the spell of the Ice Cream Man, but they are watching these kids act zombified sitting in their classrooms. Then through plot details that are too stupid to explain, end up outside on the playground murdering faculty, a police officer, and a bunch of other wild shit. And the whole time, I'm seeing this Ice Cream Man in a pure white outfit and mustache smile from ear to ear. It is really fucked up stuff, but I was laughing and it's hard for me to explain why. I think it's primarily because I love seeing things that seem mundane, normal to our society, and seemingly off limits for horror become the central focus of a bloody massacre. I forgot to mention that the gore in this film is fantastic. We see heads being sawed off, arms being severed. It is a feast for the eyes for gorehounds. Now, if you want to pick this film apart on a critical level, I am down with that because this movie has a terrible script. The acting isn't very good, except from the older sister. She's actually pretty good in the film. The Ice Cream Man is basically a nothing character. He doesn't speak once in the film, and his backstory is explained to us in an awful, completely terrible exposition sequence. But I think even Eli Roth knew this exposition was terrible because immediately after it, when the kids are learning how to potentially stop this evil from happening, they are told all this silly, stupid, and ridiculous stuff they have to do, and the film just makes it all one big joke. That's why I think I like this movie. It makes fun of itself. Does it come off as too meta at times? Probably so, but I really didn't care. I want to praise the older sister character a bit more. Now, the script fails her in a few ways. Like, she does eat the ice cream, but she doesn't become a zombie. And somehow her younger brother just figures out why that is by just blurting out the answer, even though there is no way he would know that unless he read the script. And there is a line that is eye rolling about how teenage girls can make themselves throw up that I thought was tasteless. But the actress who plays her, I think, has the potential in the future to be a great final girl in slashers if she wants to. There's a sequence where she can't move her arms, and the way she controls herself while slithering on the floor to get to her bathroom is fun visual acting. Was she a gymnast of some kind or something? I guess she was on an episode of Black Mirror, so she is familiar with horror. So I want to call her out now and keep an eye on what she does in the future. I do think that the film begins to fall apart and lose itself in the final 15 minutes. It tries to go for a dark ending that felt rushed and was only inserted for the sake of shock. It tries its hand in some kind of fake pathos about sins of our ancestors haunt the current generation, but this movie isn't good enough to delve into those high-minded ideas. This is not high art in any kind of way. This is a movie that is awful, knows it's awful, and wants you to enjoy it as good old trash. As of the time of this video, the picture has a 1.7 on Letterboxd, so I'm clearly in the minority with this take, but I actually liked this movie. I laughed my ass off for about 80% of the runtime for how ridiculous it is, but I am into this kind of sick and twisted shit, and I said that in my review of the Silent Night Deadly Night remake last year. I consider these two films to be in the same genre, dark and twisted comedies, so if you have a dark sense of humor like I do, then I think you will enjoy this. Proceed with caution on your tolerance for garbage, but have fun playing in the garbage once you get there. I give Ice Cream Man 2026 3 stars. A stupidly awful movie that knows it's terrible, but has one good character and a great deal of amazing gore. I can't hate this movie. It's just awful shit that I eat for dessert, and I hope you will too. And that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.